Yep. Welcome back, guys. Welcome, Bruno. How was your trip to Spain? Did you get rest after the KeenCon, or what did you do after KeenCon? Did you chill? Did you do something like specific, or what? Because I took a break and I didn't do shit.
After KeenCon, I just stayed in bed for like 3 days because Gilson and Hennessy decided to get everyone else sick.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think it started with Hennessy?
I don't know. Both of them seem to be pretty sick there.
Uh-huh.
Hennessy, I don't think he contaminated many people because he left after like 1 day.
Hmm.
But Gilson stayed there, and especially because I was hanging out with Gilson in the last day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
He should have been there too, but he weren't.
no, yeah, yeah. I didn't want to get sick, but honestly, that was the last day, and you guys went to the party, right?
Yeah. But then at the day after as well, we were all at the airport chilling for
Yeah.
like 8 hours because there was like a
Leaking, the water was leaking from the
flooding and
roofs.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my flights got canceled 3 times,
Hmm.
and I had to pay another flight, and then they booked the flight for 2 days later. It was a mess. My flight was supposed to be at like 12 p.m., and I got it at like 9 p.m.
Yeah. I remember I had very early flight, like fuck knows. I think my flight was around 10, so I had to leave like 7 something because the drive was like 1 hour from Ruby to Barcelona. And I remember like I woke up like on time. I was like fresh as fuck because I didn't go to the party. I was like well rested. Everything was perfect. And I was like, man, that's the first tournament I really, really feel good when I'm leaving, like on a day of my leaving. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna pack first and then order Uber. So I packed first, I showered, I everything, and then I was looking for Uber, and it told me that it will be like only in 1 hour at my place. And I'm like,
Wow.
oh my god, I fucked up so hard. Now I'm gonna be late for my flight. And the guy came in after 1 hour because he was driving from Barcelona. There was no Ubers around Ruby. I didn't know that. Then he picked me up, and then we rushed to the airport. It started to rain already on our way, like around like 9 a.m. or something.
Yeah.
And I rushed through airport, and I was like barely on time, and then it got delayed for like 2 or 3 hours, and I was just walking around the airport, and the roof was leaking with water and stuff, and I was like, fuck, now I'm gonna be stuck here for like I don't know how
Oh,
much.
so you
The
were
best
probably
is
still at the airport when we all arrived.
yeah, the best is
At
like
8 a.m., we all woke up with like those messages on the phone saying it was a big warning to floods and stuff.
yeah, this is what I mean. So you get this message, right? This big warning, and it has like this like very dangerous sound, like woo, like the siren or something like this. And you know what was the best? First time when I got it is when I went to the counter and I put my suitcase on the fucking like check-in or something, and then this alarm went off, and I'm like, what? It's my baggage or like what? And I didn't
Polish
know.
alert.
Yeah, and then I got this alert, and it was about the weather.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, okay, so we're gonna touch few subjects. I think you guys will know about it already from the title from the video, but I want to speak a little bit about KingCon finals, a little bit about the future of KingCon, future of Quake, and maybe a little bit what I'm planning to do on this channel, like for the off season in general, like a little bit of future as well. So let's start with something nicer. So let's speak about what happened on KingCon and how did you enjoy it? Like, uh, did you like, did you have any unexpected matches or anything like that? Like, are you surprised with the performance of the teams? Because like we both like, I think predicted that Chicago Doggos in the end gonna win the event, and I think their approach and Rapha approach in general for Quake is the best. So you basically start grinding, you grind all the way till the event, and you play every single map, every single game like it was like tournament game, including callouts, like timings, everything. Because when I think about myself and Kilsen, it's just like we made so many mistakes. Even I was discussing with Kelts and Kilsen like the last day, and I was like, okay, when we started to play with Kilsen, like we clearly had like big trouble with communication, and I like came to the conclusion that adding callouts to the maps will confuse the fuck out of Kilsen in the end, and he won't be able to even move on the map. So as I was like, let's go with very easy comms, like heavy, like mega, like very general comms, which he already remembered. from 2018. And then I was like, in the last few weeks or like the last month, we're gonna ramp up the games and we're gonna add more callouts. But then basically like last month is already too late to add callouts because then you again confusing like Kilson, right? So I'm like, okay, so we are stuck with the fucking basic comms basically. Although it's not that of a problem because I think in such fast game like a Quake, you don't really need like to have a name for very specific every single step on the map. Like the general callouts are enough because the champions are moving so fast. But we can also like, but maybe that's the reason why like Rapha and Max are winning because like they got everything like top notch perfectly.
Yeah, and even more like than specific, map callouts. What they do really well is like specific word callouts, like concede and stuff,
Yeah,
which is one word, but at least it means you don't have to say, "Oh, let's give up this heavy
yeah.
because of this, because of what." You just concede, and that's it. Everyone follows.
Yeah. The funniest thing was, and I was also laughing with like some guys like girls and like guys who hang around, like we could hear the comms from like stage like to upstairs, because that's very close area. And the funniest comm like which Maxter adapted from Rafa, because Rafa was like always like he was coming like rushing from like I don't know Banana Walk and through Mega, and he was like I'm coming helping Rail now, and then like and then I all the time I hear, and it was very funny, like from Maxter, I'm helping now, and he was prolonging this like the word before, I'm going now.
He was really going.
Yeah, but that was funny as fuck. But anyway, yeah, their comps were great and stuff. Like I'm surprised that like watching their game and like cheaters game. I was really impressed how good cheaters are playing. Like,
Hmm.
like maybe some people like expected them to win and stuff. And Sirius said himself, I think that on land they're gonna be even better and they're gonna wreck everyone. But I like I know reality and like I really thought that they're not gonna win.
Especially
But
after
they
the
still,
group stage, right?
but they still perform like better like than I expected. Cause like I knew they're gonna be good, but and like I'm not talking aim wise or mechanic wise, cause that was on point. I, I'm really happy for them that they were like really on point. I think Kelts is like super good at like calling in game and like managing the game, and Sirius was super good to like getting out of his comfort zone and trying to do what Kelts told him to do. So that was great. So he didn't try to push his own game. Like he didn't, he went out of his comfort zone at some point, I think, after the group stage, and he started to do what Kels saying. And Kels has like really good like approach for like 2v2. Like it's very general and like basic, but I think basic things like mastered in Quake, like winning your tournaments. So basically, good timing. Like he always made sure to have like they always made sure to have ability for power up. Do not feed. It was extremely hard to find them with power up if you had power up. So they were not feeding. They were like also running power up really good. They make sure that the faster champ has it. So Kels on slash often went with quad and he made like
Yeah.
a lot of like frags. So I was like, from tactical point of view, I was very surprised that they played so good.
I think it also made, as you said, playing basic instead of trying to overcomplicate also makes it so that they still have a lot of, headroom free to think about the combat because they're all both very good at combat. And if they try to maybe overcomplicate it with too many tactics, maybe their aim would decrease quite a bit. And this way was still really good.
Hmm. Let's jump to some like teams from the bottom of the placements because now like I'm playing in the background now like the VOD from KeenCon from day two. So you guys have something to keep an eye on while we're talking. But I'm watching now like the Basita team, so the
Hmm.
Russian team. Do you think that was the best Russian team that we could get on that tournament? Like I'm not
I mean,
talking about some like like cooler I don't whatever.
from the teams that were playing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you had like multiple people. You had like Antoshka Stone, you had Fat Cop, Basita, you get Base, uh,
I think Kamchatka Base would have been the best possible team.
Antoshka Base.
Yes.
Why you think so?
Because I think between Basita and Antarctica, like the difference isn't much, except it has been wildly inactive this past year. and he only started playing like a couple of months ago. Whereas Antochka has kept the grind up. Like the aim, their style, aim, champion pool is
Don't
very
you,
similar. Just Antochka is a lot more active, I guess.
yeah, but don't you think that Antoshka is like extremely fast and aggressive, and basically good teams will just stomp him on LAN? Because like you like as we every tournament is the same. People are playing slower on LAN.
Yeah,
They're using like the momentum to speed it up, but you even seen like Rapha Maxter slowing down a lot in some moments.
but
And
that's why Base is
Antoshka,
there. Base would control him, I think.
nah, I don't think you can control him.
You can control Antochka. Antochka is uncontrollable. Antochka cannot be contained.
Okay, so yeah, in general, I don't think you can just spawn and go for an item or something like this on LAN, because like basically you're dying really fast, especially that Antoshka is playing a lot of lights, so he will play like Slash, Athena, Nyx. He doesn't really play tanks, so that would be even more like difficult, I think, to pull off. Uh, and what do you think about like? So you think that would be the best team, Antoshka base,
I think so.
and try base like to calling and slowing down the game and maybe
Yeah,
like
that's what
controlling the
Base
game.
does. What Base does.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I think it will be cool to see like more Russian teams in general. Like at least two teams would be good. So like even like base Basita and Antoshka Stone would be great to see. All right. So
I didn't count Cypher because he's Belarusian.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, if we will have some like some crazy team like Cooler Cipher or something like this, that will be great, right?
Cypher toxic. I think that would be hilarious.
No, I think still Cooler Toxic will be better.
I'm not saying it would be better. I think it would be hilarious.
Yeah, like 3v3, Cypher Cooler and Toxic. That would be great.
Instead
Yeah,
of Cooler, add Kilson there.
yeah, true. That would be dope. Or Cooler, Kilson, and Toxic.
Oh no, that's
That would be wombo combo. Okay. Did were you like surprised with the performance of Maestro, or not really?
I, I think they played really well. I mean, they got to the upper bracket final, right?
Yeah.
The game versus you was really, really close, and like they won their group really easily, which I did not expect at all. I think they dropped maybe 2 maps the whole group. I didn't expect them to beat cheaters on the group or even you, because I think they would need like a lot more time to find their shape. But they started out really strong, and they still finished top 3. It isn't bad at all. But in the
Yeah.
lower bracket final versus cheaters, it really showed the difference that there
difference.
was when
Yeah,
cheaters
yeah,
really started performing.
yeah. Well, like I thought they're gonna play good because like their practice regime looked insane before this tournament. So they didn't play during like season too much.
Yeah.
But then like before tournament they played more than Rapha Maxter because like Wenger was booking some like retarded hours. Like they were starting at like I don't know.
But that's good. Like
Like
1 p.m. to 12, 11 a.m. because that's the hours you play during the LAN as well. You gotta be ready for that, because if you're always playing at 9 p.m.
that's true.
and you get to LAN and you play at 9 a.m., you're not gonna be ready.
Yeah, but I'm also talking about the amount of time like they were
Yeah,
putting. So they were basically playing from morning until 5. So like
it was really good.
nobody played as much as them, I think.
If they had put in like another 2 weeks of practice somewhere in the year, I think they would have gone even further. But it was only the last 2 weeks, sadly.
Yeah, maybe not somewhere in the year, but maybe if they added it like to the last month
Yeah,
or something, then it
instead of 2 weeks,
definitely.
a whole month.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say KeenCon was happening like 2 3 weeks after the original date. I think they will be really like contender to win, and they would have close games with cheaters and Rafa Maxter. All right. What about the Boba team?
Boba Team, I think they played really well.
I think so
Especially
too.
the game versus cheaters, right? Cheaters, when the playoffs started, cheaters didn't seem as good because they got owned by Rapha and Maxter,
Mhm,
and then they got to lower bracket and they almost lost to Team Bobber as well. And
mhm.
Team Bobber was playing out of their minds in that game. Like FaZe and Chenzo, they really came into their own, and they could
Yeah,
have won the game. But
yeah,
last map being Awoken versus cheaters is not what you really want to go.
yeah,
But they still going fifth map versus the team that got second place. Very, very well played. I'm very proud of FaZe and Chenzo for their
yeah.
performance.
And I'm proud that I was able to meet both of Chainsaw parents. Previous year his mom, and this year his dad. And I was like, the funniest thing was like I was walking around like walking up the stairs, and I seen like Chainsaw's dad, and like I straight away knew that it's gonna be Chainsaw's dad. I didn't even know that he's coming with his father, but I was like, it must be Chainsaw father. Like he looked American first of all, older guy, so I was like, it has to be like Chainsaw father. Um. Anyway, okay, so like last year we had like final. Rafa played someone in the final. I don't even Razy probably.
Probably Razy, right?
Yeah.
I don't even have to check.
Yeah. So yeah, last year he was playing Razy in the final, and then we had like everybody on stage. We had huge announcement from SombrA that there is second like season coming from KeenCon. I know that he was doing some interview on stream. I didn't really have a chance to watch it or like listen to it. So I'm not sure what he said. I guess if he said something very specific, I would know anyway. But like, so there was like no official announcement, nothing unofficially said. Like, what was SombrA like statement on that interview? Because like he was doing it on stream. I don't know if you were there or
I
like.
was not doing the interview, but I heard a lot of it.
Hmm.
It was hard because like the sound on stage wasn't coming out to us,
Hmm.
to the people there, for
Yeah.
some reason, until like the finals started. So we didn't really hear a lot of it, and I just checked it out later.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about KeenCon as a whole and how he would like to make a lot more Quake tournaments, but apparently KeenCon has been very costly to produce so far.
Hmm.
So they set up the GoFundMe, etc., and he also made the announcement that if they reach 20,000 euros in the GoFundMe, they'll make another KeenCon.
Hmm. Because like, what was the amount of the like donation we gathered during the tournament? Because they started donations like right before the LAN, or they started donation running donation. No.
During, I think it was during the LAN. Oh no, it was a few days before. I think, right?
Okay. Mm.
I don't remember if it was a few days before or during the LAN, but I think it must have been just a couple of days before or right during the LAN.
Okay,
And the
because
donation still hasn't really moved since.
the donation bar on the stream, which showed like in the bottom, like middle, was that the money from like Twitch only, or that was the money like together with GoFundMe and Twitch, or like how did it
It
work?
was
Do you know?
the GoFundMe money, but
Aha.
there
Okay.
was like during the stream there was like 3.5k donated or something, and then
Because
I
I
think
think
it
like
was
like the day three, I seen something like 7 or 8K
yeah
on the
yeah.
stream.
'Cause
So
Adrenaline, the SombrA's company that's organizing KeenCon, put in another 2,000 euros, and then Aster, which is Yep's organization,
yeah.
the organization that it plays for, also made an offline donation of 2,000 euros.
So they finished the tournament with the amount around to 8K euro, right?
Yeah, currently
Okay.
7.744k, not k, but
Hmm.
insane.
Because like so okay, my question is because like you are also like in the company somehow, like working for with KingCon. Because like on we got some announcement on Discord about the donations. Is this like announcement like official? Did they like announce anything after KingCon on Twitter or something where like everybody has access that they gonna continue the donations and stuff?
Uh, he said during the stream as well that he would continue the donations for a couple of months,
Hmm.
like
And
for
then
for this for the season. I think that's what he said, for the season. I don't know exactly when the season finishes for them.
okay,
Maybe when spring starts,
okay,
or maybe a couple of months earlier. I don't know.
maybe Formula One season.
Yeah,
Okay, so but yeah, but the goal is like 20K, and then like if they reach 20K, they gonna like produce another tournament, right?
hmm
Because like and now because this is super confusing for me. Because let's say you want to gather 20K, right? It's a great idea, and like I think that's the time where like community can support us, etc. But if they not reaching the 20K goal, they are not organizing the tournament, right?
they said if they don't reach
And that that
from
that
what they said if they don't reach a 20k goal, They will still organize probably like online tournaments.
Small tournament, yeah.
Yeah, small tournaments online, and the rest will just be to recover the some of the money invested that they spent in KeenCons.
Hmm. Yeah, like I'm afraid it's like because like let's say they got like 8k and like they gather in 20k, and I want to just let's say like we won't decide to make like the foundry or something, and I want to invest, for example, 2k, right, to the tournament, like to KingCon, to make it happen. But if they're not gonna reach the goal, it means like I'm losing 2k, right? That's basically how I understand it. Like from does
I
did
mean, you're
my
losing to
did,
regardless if you donate.
well, like kind of, but no. Well, let's say
Regardless if they reach it or not, you lose it.
let's say I want to spend 2k to watch like the another KingCon, right?
Hmm.
That's why I'm spending it, because I like to watch Quake and I want to like contribute and I want to watch it. But then like I'm spending it and then I'm not getting anything out of it. That's like a very like that's I don't think like with this way I don't think there is any chance to gather like 20k. That's my personal opinion, because like
I think
a
more
lot of people will
clarification
like
would have been
hesitate.
necessary.
Excuse me.
Instead of, I think more clarification on doing it would have been necessary because they either make it Barcelona KingCon 2025
Hmm.
or they could have named it Support KeenCon, basically, or Support Adrenaline.
Hmm.
And then they wouldn't have to give it back if they didn't reach it because it was just a support.
Yeah, or even that, yeah, like just like clarifying what is the KingCon support. If it's gonna be on LAN, if it's gonna be like online, if it's gonna be 1v1, if it's gonna be 2v2, how many teams, like just some specific, like rules, because like maybe I don't want to watch like 1v1 without Europeans, because it's, for example, it's only for Spanish people and it's online, right? Like some like clarification and some details, I think would help people to decide if they want to donate or not. Because like now, yeah, as I'm saying, like I don't imagine myself donating if let's say we don't reach the goal and the money is just gone. So that's my personal opinion, because like I would really like to like see another tournament. But yeah, but it's like up to other people. Uh, what else I wanted to? Yeah, I wanted also because we already started the subject, like the future of Quake.
Hmm.
Uh, what do you expect for like 2025, like from Quake?
I didn't. I thought for sure KeenCon was going to be the last Quake LAN, so I think anything that we get extra is a bonus at this point.
Hmm.
But I don't really expect there to be a lot of Quake Champions tournament going forward
Hmm.
because QPL stopped last year, right? So I think 2024 was basically the year for the community tournaments. If we get
Hmm.
2025 with community tournaments as well,
That's
I
great.
think that's great.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we as Endpoint, and like I spoke with Pete, like I think we'll have like some discussion about it. The thing is like it's super hard to like organize like anything, as you can see even with King Kong, and it's like like counting on donations from people only is also like not the way to go. So we understand that, and like but in general, like nowadays, like organizing anything is extremely hard, especially with game like Quake, because like I remember like before Foundry Forced, like I was shitting my pants because like I was sure something gonna be like screwed up, like server's not gonna work, like it's gonna be lagging. And then obviously like when we started, like I went there like week before and we started like a server, and when we wanted to join like more people on the server, like then 4 or 3, like they were like completely disconnecting, so we couldn't have more people than three, I think. And then they came to conclusion that like their internet provider had to unblock some ports for them to be able to like join like more people in this, those kind of things. Like I
Yeah,
think like it's easier to organize Quake 3 tournament because you just set up like a LAN server and you can play. And like here you have so many like coincidence which can happen. Mm,
it's the one of the wonders of having games as a live service.
mhm. Another
Goes
thing,
through a lot of things.
yeah, I don't know if you heard the rumors already. For some time, Estoti wanted to organize something. like some LAN, like also invite like some international players. And I hear it now and
Oh,
then. It's just like the thing is, with all this situation with banning Russian players and Belarusian
yeah.
players, it's like I also understand he hesitate to do anything because like if you are same like with as I said with KeenCon, donating to KeenCon and wanting something to happen instead of like losing money. Same for him, like he like invest money, right? He like contribute. So obviously he wants to see some of his fellow countrymen players, right? He wants to have some CIS guys, some like Russians, some Estonian like CNZ, like so that's very obvious. But I think that will be super cool if he managed to do something on some like neutral ground and have like Europeans, Americans, and CIS players. That will be
Like
dope, I think.
Serbia, for example, or
For
Poland.
example, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I'm not sure how neutral Poland is right now. At least Serbia would be pretty neutral.
yeah, yeah,
Or Romania.
yeah. I think, yeah, honestly, I think like Serbia will be the best because
Said no one ever in the history of the world.
no, Serbia is great always. Uh, anyway, because organizing it in Russia will be problematic, not
Yeah,
only from the point of view of flights, because I think they lack in some flights. I think base to make his trip to like King Kong, he had to go through Turkey or Dubai or something like
yeah,
this. So I think like for Europeans and Americans and like
it'd be
going,
impossible.
yeah, also going through many directions, that wouldn't even be the worst. The worst will be, I think, like most of Europeans wouldn't just go because they will be like afraid of like political situations.
Exactly.
I,
I wouldn't go.
I
I just wouldn't go, even if I wanted to.
yeah, because like you're afraid that what that that they
I
will
don't know,
stop
dude.
stop you on the border and say you're
I don't even know.
you Portuguese traitor or something. No,
I don't know. It's too risky.
true, but there's no war going like there, but yeah, I understand. It's a very difficult situation. So I think finding the neutral ground like Serbia
'Cause-
would be
yeah,
just
because like imagine
perfect.
we don't know how like sanctions and stuff are going. Imagine like European, like NATO or whatever sites, or the European Union decides to not have any more flights from Russia to their countries in any way, and then you're
Yeah,
stuck there and you have to take a flight to like you said, like Turkey, and then
yeah.
another flight to Europe.
Well, you just move into some nice place near mountains, and you're just living, learning
Yeah,
Russian. You're just setting
exactly.
up life. You got beautiful woman, so I think it's
Vodka, bears, and
vodka,
balalaika.
some like good cheap food, like cheap cigarettes. Everything's perfect. Life is great then. Good music.
Good music.
It's perfect. Anyway, yeah, back to the and also Serbia. I think Serbia has like a lot of like good esport facilities, right? I think a lot of like teams from like I heard CS teams like going to boot camps to Serbia because it's also cheap, like it's good place, and it's like and it got few really good like facilities.
Yeah, I
So
think Serbia or Romania should be pretty good for this.
mhm. Yeah, that would be great. That would be extremely great to see like mm,
The thing with
something
Zestodi
happening.
is like whenever they organize something, you only know about it like 3 days before it starts.
True.
Because they're not very big on social media.
Yeah, but I think if he would organize something big, we'll know like much earlier. That
Yeah,
would be
like
just
4 days
great.
before.
Like a week, so we can make visa.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Yeah. So basically, we need to count on that. As I said, the Foundry is under big question mark, and it's like up to Pete. But it's like I think it's a lot of like planning as well. Like I spoke with you like some time ago, and like planning everything. If you don't have like enough like you know PCs or space, like because with Foundry we also wanted to be like players friendly, so we really wanted to contribute to flights. Well, Endpoint actually paid for the flights and for the like accommodation for everything,
Yeah.
so like we could have really good players like who just like having everything for free. That was great. uh, and then you end up with a smaller prize pool instead, so it's like there's a lot of planning about it. uh, Also, like my idea now is like during off season I really want to. We still gonna do some like we're still gonna do some content for you on YouTube on this channel. So you're still gonna have like videos. Probably like we had like a system where we were like going out with one video per week, like each Friday. Maybe we're gonna switch it to Saturday or like, but still like at least one video per week you guys gonna get. That's what's gonna happen for like next half year at least.
Nice.
And my idea is like I really want to start something like some specific project. Like I had those predictions with Wenger before QPL. I think that was cool because that was like something regular and you had something to wait for. Now I was thinking about like going through old like very
Classics.
classics and like some
Yeah.
exciting games like Cypher, Cooler on Airwalk and etc. There's a lot of games like this. And like together analyzing it or casting it like preferably with some caster, for example, like you. That will be great. And as I told you, like today, like especially that you were around those games all the time, like all those QuakeCons, DreamHacks, you were always visiting, like attending or casting or just like visiting. That was cool times. And I think you know more about those games than any other caster, to be honest, because the other caster which I'm thinking of is like Zoot knows a lot about those games, but more online, I would say. At some point, he kind of disappeared, but he definitely remembers a lot of QuakeCons and DreamHacks, a little bit of DDK, but like I think you perfectly know all those games, like Evil Rapha, like Evil Cypher, all those classics. That's great games, and we could go through that. And I just don't know like how to do it exactly. If we should cast the game or if we should like kind of more analyze or like
I think
just
it
like
depends whether you want to do one map or like the whole best of three.
I think we should like do one maps and like choose like specific maps because I got in my mind a lot of maps like this which went crazy, like some overtimes or like these three air rockets from like Cypher on the Hank or like
Oh my god.
like those kind of crazy
The
crazy like
DM6,
games,
dude. If
Yeah.
you do one map, I think you can actually just watch the demo and analyze properly.
Yeah. Or analyze and cast at the same time because like I think the game changed also. Like I think I don't know. I'm just like excited to go back to those games and see like what was the level of playing. I remember also speaking with Sirius on I think on LAN this time, and he said that Toxic was the guy who in 2007 or 8 was hitting like it's 2024, and that's true.
Honestly, yeah.
I watched some of the games like from 2010 even, and people were really aiming like worse than now, and like
Like even
Tox
if you
still was
go
hitting a lot.
if you go to like 2005 during that WSVG versus Fatality, I was watching that game with Sirius last month,
Hmm.
and we were honestly amazed because Toxic is going in fights like 100 100 versus Fatality 200 200 and Fatality picking up a mega during the fight, and Toxic still out aims the fuck out of him,
Yeah.
like in hitting stuff that people even now in 2024 still can't hit.
Hmm. That's
It's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah, insane. That's also the game I forgot about. Like this
And the crazy
finals
thing is that
WSVG was crazy, crazy good.
Toxic aim has not dropped at all over the easy. If anything, it's gotten even better.
Yeah,
It makes no sense.
yeah, that's crazy. Even in like even in very old games, like in some clan base or national cups in TDM, like from 2002, 1999 or something like this. Like he was already hitting crazy. All those like
Yeah.
famous
There
quads
were
from
like very
Cooler.
few players, like pre 2010, that could hit a lot. The only two that really come to mind is like Toxic and CZM.
Yeah, CCM with Railgun, especially. I think Fox was also quite good, like with hitting, but yeah, like Tox. No, Tox was just on completely
He's
different
just
level.
on another level.
Yeah,
Just
that.
made no sense what he hit. It's like you'd like to think you look back 20 years ago. Oh, if I would like be teleported there, I would just own everyone. But then you get faced with Toxic, who's hitting more than you even
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's crazy mechanical skills, and especially with these settings, like his like
Yeah,
binds
nice.
for like walking shooting. That's super like odd, and like
Yeah.
how can he even play? That yeah, that's why also like going back a little bit about the 2025 and tournaments. I think the best thing for KeenCon to do, or like to anyone who wants to organize tournament, and it's sad to say because I really love 2v2 and team modes. I think nowadays and in current state of the game, we really need to organize tournaments with like for 1v1 because like with 2v2 we missing out on so many good like situations and like on so many good players rather because like if it was 1v1 maybe we could see Toxic coming, or if not Toxic then we could see Zenaku coming because like he was trying to go there with Tox or with base, it didn't really work, and then like you have a guy who has to skip because he
Yeah,
cannot
but
really, go and
wouldn't
play.
Toxic be more likely to play 2v2 than 1v1 though?
That's why I switched from like Toxic to Zenaku in this case because I think in both cases like Tox just wouldn't go like, and especially
Yeah,
if it
probably.
was 1v1 he wouldn't go. But still like you had those players like this example, great example is Zenaku because it's a top player, and then he just didn't go because he didn't really feel like he has like a proper pair to play with because Tox didn't want to go, and then he kind of
Mhm.
gave up. And I think like with the amount of players etc I think that would be great to have like 1v1. Also like when I think about Quake and when I think about like QPL announcing that they're not gonna like organize anything anymore, like the close of QPL, I think the best thing we could do as a community was to like keep the flow, and we were on this wave because like we had all those people watching the game like each week, right? We had this like stable like let's say 2k like viewers, right? We
Mhm.
should have right away try to organize something like uh, combine together, I don't know, KeenCon endpoint like Myztro like whatever, and try to continue similar thing to like QPL or even exactly the same system as QPL, but with lower prize money. So with much lower, like with pennies online, and then with some small like prize pool like 10 or 20k in the end of the season, and the LAN finals could be like on KingCon or like wherever, or it could alternate. So 1 year we could have finals on KingCon and second year on like in endpoint facility, and then third year, for example, in at Maestro, I don't know, Logitech or like Red Bull Sphere place or whatever, just like to keep the flow. Because we kind of, we were all sad, etc. And well, KingCon came up right away, like with the idea of like continuing, but maybe copying the system and trying to keep like right away those viewers, not wait from like, because KingCon was in like late autumn and they announced in like, we kind of knew like in the summer like after QuakeCon that there probably is not going to happen another QPL. I don't know, what do you think about it, like just copying it and continue with that?
I think the biggest thing would have been to be there on the same days, right? It was every Sunday or
Yeah,
every Saturday. I don't remember.
yeah, having exactly the same format to save as many people interested in Quake as we
Yeah,
could, because we had a lot of like new people watching Quake because of QPL, because if it was weekly, because it was something to watch and like old school game. And I think we lost a lot of that like community, especially if we look at because like how many viewers did we have on KingCon? Did you in the peak? Did you
I
have
don't
this
know.
data?
We didn't get any numbers. I think.
But we definitely didn't have like as big numbers as even previous KingCon or
I think
as
I can
QPL.
check.
I think whenever I was checking, and that probably wasn't the peak, but it was around 600, 700 people. Like that's the biggest amount I've seen.
Let's see. In the last 3 months, we had apparently 1.5k.
In the peak,
Yeah, yeah.
probably from all the channels, right?
No, just on KeenCon TV.
Okay. Yeah, still, like trying to save as much community, I think, and like going with the same system. I don't know what you think about it, but I think there wouldn't be any problem with like Bethesda to like copy that, like, because basically, even if there would be like any problem with Bethesda, I don't know, you're just switching Sunday to Saturday or to Friday, and then you say it's completely different fucking format or whatever.
Or instead of
Just
calling it Quake Pro League, we call it
yeah,
Quake
just to not have
Professional League.
yeah,
That's it.
just to not have a pain in the ass about some bullshit
Yeah.
again, because like it's definitely would be some bullshit.
But I kind of like that. It was a change of pace this year. Instead of 1v1, we focus
Oh
on
yeah,
2v2,
I
and
loved
now
it, I loved
next
it.
year maybe 1v1 again. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So for people watching, first of all, I would like to ask you guys to give us an idea, like what games would you like to watch, like classic games, like if you got
Yeah.
in your memory some map which was extremely close or extremely cool. Like I would even go to like the ZTN which I played against Gibo in like Spain in Bilbao. It was grand final, and we were playing outside. Kind of outside, it was open area, and there was a guy like standing like above me with umbrella because the sun was like in my
Did
like
it play?
monitor, so he had to stay there. And then there was like huge amount of overtimes, and I seen this guy like next to me just struggling because the umbrella was fucking gigantic, and he was struggling to hold it, and I was like, God,
Who
please.
hosts a LAN in open air?
It was like it was a, like okay, so it was like a close area, but there was like to the end of this area there was like, I don't know, some kind of open roof or something like this. That was kind of like a semi-open area. There was definitely open roof, there was few walls. Yeah, that was kind of outside. Yeah. But that was summer, that was end of the summer, and it was only for grand final. We played in normal booth, like you had Quake on, like, backstage or something, and then they made it like, I don't know, they wanted this like summer vibe or something,
What the
and they
hell?
and they opened the roof or something like that, and there was a guy with umbrella because there was sun in my like, so definitely that was outside because the sun was in my monitor. And I said, guys, we need to put some like board or something because like, I cannot play with sun in my monitor. And they put two guys with umbrellas. Like with this big,
That's
like,
funny.
like picnic
What
standing
game?
like
This
umbrellas.
wasn't Quake Live, right? This was
Quake
probably
3.
Quake 3.
Quake 3 2008, I think.
That's funny. I'd like to guess
Or
one of those
9.
games because, like in Quake Live, I've been here from the start, but I've never played the other Quakes.
Hmm. Well,
Especially Quake 3. I've never seen a Quake 3. I see a lot of Quake 4 ones. Quake 3, I
mhm.
don't think I've really ever seen much.
Quake 3 was great. I think it was a super cool game. That was also the game where Cypher was shining after Quake 4. Because we had two eras of Quake 3. One era was until Quake 4, and
And
the
then
another
after,
era
yeah.
was like after Quake 4, before Quake Live. But yeah, also like I'm surprised that Quake Live was never a success because like I think they had extremely good idea with this like browser game, right? Because that was something new. It was extremely easy for people. You didn't have to do anything. You were just like
It was great. You just press a big play button.
yeah,
The problem was, just the normal AFPS experience isn't fun for newcomers. It's been the same in every single AFPS, and it's unlikely to ever change, sadly.
mhm. So yeah, if you guys have in your memory any game like this, like from each game, Quake 4, even some other Quakes, like maybe we can try. If the game is, but the game must be really good. You cannot bait us and give us some boring Quake war
100 to
game or
negative 2.
something. Yeah, we really need some like extremely like something crazy which everybody knows and it's classic. If you got something in your mind like this, like let us know in the comments. Also, guys, if you want to, we're living in such times where if we want to have some tournaments, we really need some help from the community. If you want to watch more Quake, like you got, places where you can help. You can like donate to KeenCon, for example, for another tournament. Like you can find their like GoFundMe like link. We're gonna add it in description probably, but if not, the link is probably on their site, right? Ins.
Yeah, yeah.
So on
If
official.
you go on GoFundMe and search for KeenCon Barcelona, you'll find it.
You will find it in the search, yeah. So that, and also if you got any other ideas except like throwback to like with some classics, let us know, because like I think that's the one of the projects which will be the most interesting, because like podcasts etc is like, I don't think is the thing anymore. We running out of the players. I would love to maybe do something like this with super old school players, like even like now speaking of King Kong, like with Achilles for example, and speak a little bit about WCG with him, and speak about how was the level of like playing back then and how he made it to the finals, because I think that's also an interesting story. I don't think he was like favorite to go to the final. So, something must have happened there, or like some old school players like Lexer maybe, like those kind of guys. I think podcast with Vu will be very interesting, or with Klaus as well. Uh, and that's it. Thank you, Bruno, for coming up. If you would like to do like some classics with me, I will be really happy with that if you find the
Anytime.
time. Uh, So yeah, that's it, and thank you for coming.
Goodbye.